Victoria is in the mortgage industry. I know Victoria, we've got a lot of real estate agents on the line today. And we've got some people in the mortgage industry. I'm excited to have you here. Victoria is a graduate of our program. And she is one of those people who hadn't even started her business. She hadn't even started in her career yet. I mean, she had a career history in it, but she was on maternity leave. And she knew that she was going to be starting in the mortgage industry post-maternity leave, and actually dove into our academy with some kids at home and a newborn, and learned our methodology and grew her brand and grew her network base prior to coming off of maternity leave and turning the lights on in her mortgage business. So with that, Victoria, I'd love to turn it over to you. And let's just start with what made you decide, being on maternity leave with littles at home, what made you decide to dive into learning this lead attraction method before you even started your business?
Yeah. Yes, great question. Thank you so much for having me today, Melissa. It's always a pleasure. While I was on maternity leave, I knew I was going back. I worked for RBC, Royal Bank, for 15 years, and I knew I was going to go back into a new role. Wasn't exactly sure what that role was going to look like yet. And I joined a program that was helping me around mindset. And it was only because I was really looking at ways to grow and expand my own mindset and thinking. And during this program, I realized I wanted to become a mortgage specialist for many, many reasons. And then one thing that I knew was that my company really wants us to leverage LinkedIn. And I thought, okay, I've got LinkedIn. I've never used it, but I've set it up. I have 26 connections. I don't really know how it works or how I'm going to use it to grow my business. So I came across your program, and I joined, the 4-day or 5-day workshop. And I just wanted to know more. And I felt and I knew that the reason that I was here and I was so intrigued was that there was more for me to learn and do, and that it was really going to help me maximize the opportunity to leverage LinkedIn for my business. And that's what made me join.
Yay. And we're so glad you did. So glad you did. Okay. So, and I'm sure these guys are like, okay, awesome. That's so cool. And so my next question to you is, and everybody loves best practices, right? Like, what did you get to work doing? And then we can talk about success and the output, but what did you get to work doing? What do you feel like worked best for you? Because I know when you came off of maternity leave, you were just set to rock and roll. So share with everybody maybe what strategies really worked best for you when you were moving through the academy?
Yeah, so I think at first it was building the profile. That was really important because you want to have that in order before you start adding those connections. So it was really getting the right profile picture, getting the right banner, getting the right tagline, building out that summary section, adding in that featured section. I think all of those things are really important, making sure you've got like a Calendly set up, or like your website is properly set up so you can attach all those things to your profile. And then the second part, I started adding new connections on a daily basis, but they were very intentional, and I was adding specific notes, and I was searching people specifically in my area, in specific industries. I was targeting real estate agents at first to grow my network because they were my avatar. And then once I built that network, I actually started getting on the phone with these people.
Yes, you did. And I will say, like Victoria, again, one of the undercurrents of all of our clients that you guys are hearing from, they did the work. People always ask, does the method work? And I'm like, the method works if you work the method, right? And you got to work. You were on a mission, and you knew, and I've already talked about this with this group, is that your profile needs to be right and tight before you start growing your connections, or you're missing out on massive lead generation. And then B, you have to get strategic on who you're targetedly growing into your network so that you have that energetic feed and the right audience, and the algorithms are playing at your favor, right? So before we dive into results, I would love maybe your insights for this group because they just witnessed an audit, right? I would love your insights to share with this group on the value of our performance labs and real-time feedback versus just being in a course where you're just hitting play.
Yeah, so I do love that it's self-paced. So like I had newborn twins at home and a toddler, so I would wait till everybody was in bed at night and I would go down to the basement and I would do my modules and then I would kind of do the work at night. And that's what I liked. And then I would schedule because there was all these different days and times that you could schedule different things. So I would just schedule it around, around my schedule when I wanted to hop on the audit or, any of those things. So, or the content, the content audit or whatnot. And the nice thing too is if you're not quite there and you don't want to have your own stuff audited, you could just join somebody else's and listen to them get critiqued.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got lots of ideas just listening to some of my peers. I'm getting their own audits done. And like, we're all here to learn and grow and share best practices and whatnot. So yeah, so you work around your own schedule, you book your own stuff as you're ready, but you can also listen to other people and see their critiquing as well. So that's cool.
Yes. And it's really interesting. I talk about this a lot. And this is live events or in workshops that are virtual, but live, is that what I witness is that some of our clients end up getting quantum breakthroughs from witnessing other people's feedback. Like how many of you had breakthroughs just now seeing Gina get feedback, right? And that's one of the things I love about our live interactive workshops is that you can't put a price tag on the interactive feedback that our clients get. This is not just hitting play. This is not just you showing up and getting feedback on your one thing, right? This is you seeing, being in a fishbowl and seeing the feedback real time that other clients are getting. And what I love is that those of you who are jumping in now, you're jumping into a community of people there's people who started 3 months ago. And you could jump into their audit next week on their social media and you haven't even started building your content pillars yet. And you're going to see feedback on their social media and their content pillars that are going to create quantum breakthroughs for you before you even get started on your social media, right? Does that make sense? And you get so many great ideas. Yeah. So Victoria, why don't we talk results? People love results. These guys, we opened the doors to our academy yesterday. We've totally sold out of our VIP tickets, which is just awesome. And these guys are sitting here like, okay, everybody Melissa's brought in got these great results. What about Victoria? Can you talk a little bit to how things are cracking for you in your space over on LinkedIn?
Yeah, of course. So a couple things here, but I was always sort of nervous about creating my own content from the beginning. And that's also part of the reason I joined the program because I knew it was something I needed to get comfortable with. So I did get very comfortable with it after the program or through the program rather. And so now I'm putting out content pretty regularly and I feel really, really good about it. But people are recognizing it. People in my company, people in my network, they are reaching out to me and, they're noticing that I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I do give feedback as well to some of my peers as well when they ask me because they know I've taken this program. So then they ask me to sort of audit their profiles. So I do that. And they always say, wow, you really picked up on things that I never even noticed. But results wise, I had my own idea of who I was going to get referrals business from before I started my role. People that I know and knew already in my network, I'm actually getting my business from people that I met through the LinkedIn, which that's where most of my, my self-sourced business is coming from is people that I've met through LinkedIn. So realtors, I've met an amazing lawyer through LinkedIn. She's also growing her business as well. And her and I are like a dream team right now. And I wouldn't replace her for anybody. So it's incredible. I'm actually building real relationships with people. I have no reluctancy to get on a phone call with somebody or to add somebody to my network. Like I feel like before I was maybe hesitant to add someone to my connection, or maybe I wouldn't make a personal note, or there wouldn't be as much confidence behind it. It would just be an action. But now I do it with so much confidence, and I always get the connection. And I do work with a lot of healthcare professionals as well as part of my role. And I just added my new dentist to my network, and yeah, and he was really excited to have me join his network as well. So it's just like little things that I'm doing now that I probably wouldn't have done before, or never thought to do, or just wouldn't have done. And I'm doing them, and they are bringing me a lot of results. I'm getting referrals from all over now.
I love this. Okay, a couple things you said, Victoria, that really like struck a chord with me. And you guys heard this from Elizabeth yesterday. And this is something I talk about all the time. And that is that it's not just about lead generation to close a sale tomorrow on LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn is truly the reason people are there are to network for future opportunities, for collaboration. And one of the things you guys heard from Elizabeth yesterday was she got picked up to be a guest on a podcast. She got picked up to be a co-author in a chapter in a book. She got picked up to be a guest speaker somewhere. Those relationships generate larger networks and visibility for your future business, right? Like we have to be in it for the long game. And so I love that you pointed that out. And the other thing I love that you pointed out is just how kind and polite people are on the platform, and the lack of hesitation to just, jump on the phone. And I think Elizabeth said this yesterday too. And everyone who gets running on LinkedIn and hits what we call that flow, they're like, wow, like people are kind and thoughtful and responsive on this platform. And it's not a bunch of crickets. I'm not chasing. It doesn't feel inauthentic to me. So I just love the relationship build and the networking that you're doing. A question for you for the group. So there's going to be some people who go through this workshop and they're like, and I've already gotten a lot of feedback from people. They're like, oh my gosh, there's so much valuable content in the free training. I can't even imagine. Like I'm getting good content now. I can run with this. What is the value of taking what you learned in the workshop and actually cannonballing into our 6-month intensive versus white knuckling it from here and doing it yourself when our doors close on Tuesday?
I couldn't imagine it. I just couldn't imagine having left just after the 4-day training and that being it, because I learned so much more during those 6 months, having access to the modules, having access to the group, having access to all the audits and the live coaching that we did monthly, the coaching sessions where I could literally ask you questions about where I'm at in my business, and you would provide me with some one-on-one coaching on the spot as to what I should be doing to kind of accelerate that, and where I was having areas of struggle. And so I think it's very valuable.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, okay. So final question. And then by the way, you guys go follow Victoria. Now, Victoria's out of Canada, right? If you're in the real estate arena, do you want tell them where you're based out of? This might be a good lead gen for you. I don't know who's in Canada that maybe you can collaborate with. Tell us a little bit about your business, and I'll have a final question for you.
Sure. Yes, I'm in Mississauga, Ontario, and I'm a mortgage specialist with Royal Bank of Canada. I've been there for 15 years.
Awesome. So if you guys want, any need to collaborate or connect with Victoria in your business up in Canada, go check her out. And I love that your colleagues ask you, like, you seem like an expert on LinkedIn, like what's going on? And you're like, I kind of am. Okay. So final question for you, and then we'll let you run. I know you are super busy on this Friday afternoon, is for the fence sitters. I've said this a couple of times. For some of these people, they're new in business. It's the first time they've considered investing in marketing, right? Like one of the things I talk about and I've been coached to and I live by is that, especially if you're new in business, the percentage is about 20% we should be investing in marketing to grow our brand, grow our business, to grow our books of business. Once you have a really nice steady stream and brand, maybe you dial back your investment in marketing to 10%. But when you're really getting running, it's 20%, right? So my question to you is for these people who are new in their business or new to investing and kind of learning a marketing strategy. What do you say to the fence sitters who are thinking about investing in this program, but they're just not sure?
I would say go for it. If you've come this far, your interest has been piqued. You know that there's opportunity to grow within this space. That's why you're here on the fourth day. When I was on maternity leave, looking for opportunities and ways to get support to start a brand new business for myself and grow that business and get the marketing and the tools and the skills to do it on my own, I came across a lot of different things, programs, people. I even, listened to the pitch and everything like that. But I chose Melissa at the end of the day because it really resonated with me. And it was the only one that I actually sat through the 4 days. And I knew that I wanted more. And so I just paid for it up front because it was just, a one-time fee, and I'm in it for 6 months. So I loved it. Honestly, I would have stayed. I wish I had got it for the year, to be honest. Because then it just would have given me that much more time to really go back and possibly look at everything again. But it was amazing. And I would say, like, if you're starting a new business and you know that you need some support, it's obvious that there is some opportunity there because you're here, jump in and do it. You won't regret it.
Yay. Thank you